What is up, POW fam? And my name is Paul POW, aka Paul POW, and welcome to the final round of Norway Chess here at Pawn POW Chess series of Paul POW. So it was a whole lot of fun for the test for the past 10 days or 10 rounds. So it's all ends up with this final round, which we're gonna take a look between Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa and Vincent Keimer's game. So let's begin, shall we? Praggnanandhaa begins with pawn to d4, Vincent Keimer with knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, so it's a queen's gambit declined exchange variation. e3, bishop e7, knight c3, castles, and then they exchange. Bishop d3, knight c6, h3, bishop goes to d6, castle, rook goes to e8, rook e1, h6, pawn goes to e3, bishop e6, b4. Okay, so pretty much it's like they're going for the development over here for the bishop. And then pawn a6, bishop b2, queen d7, b5, takes, queen goes to e7, knight goes to e5, bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes. Oh, wow. So after rook takes, I didn't know that he could take like this and then take like this and then probably either knight b2 or knight b1 or knight e2, maybe knight, or I could move the queen. Yeah, queen c1. Either queen c1 or queen a1 to protect this knight over there. Well, kind of. I don't think it's recommended here because if it's not gonna be good here because of this bishop diagonal, you know. Alright, back to bishop takes c6 and then rook takes, queen takes, b takes, and then knight takes c6. So that was the advantage. That was like after rook takes a3, he did this, and he didn't even think about going for this. Instead, goes for the exchange to force an exchange, and then b takes c6, knight takes c6, queen goes to d6, knight e5, rook c8, knight goes or rook goes to b1, c5, knight b5, queen f8, d takes, bishop f5, rook goes to b3, queen takes, knight d4, queen c1, takes, king h2, bishop e6, rook b6, knight f1, f4, h5, rook b8 check, king h7, knight ef3, knight goes to e4, f5. So I think this is the good move anymore because to pretty much a4 can be the only move. So rook to d8, bishop goes to a4, knight e5, g6, rook f8, knight d6, f takes check, king g7. So he cannot go on here because of rook takes f1. So that's gonna be a lose-lose for Vincent Keimer. So with that f takes g6, he's forced to move king g7 and maybe g takes f7, but it doesn't play in the game. Instead, it was knight goes to e6, and if he takes this one, that goes with rook takes f1, which that actually happened. I don't know why, but oh, both of them are really bad moves. So if I go here, oh, push pawn, and then if he takes this one, that's gonna be a queen, sadly. And if he goes king h6, rook h8 mate, so he has no choice but to force a move with f takes e6, and then Praggnanandhaa wants Vincent Keimer to say goodbye to the rook with rook takes f1, and then oops. Rook takes f1, bishop e8, king g3, bishop takes g6, king f4, h4, rook a1, knight f7, rook a7, king f6, knight g4 check, king g7, and then rook e7. And in this game, in this position, Vincent Keimer resigned in this position, and Praggnanandhaa scores another 3 points. And it means that's the end of the Norway Chess 2026. And that means Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa wins Norway Chess 2026. Congratulations to your new Norway Chess champion, Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa. So what a game, what a tournament. And there was no drama. In the game of Magnus and Gukesh, Magnus actually won his last game against Gukesh, which is no smashing table, so that's pretty much kind of like some kind of frustration. So, Alright, so I have to end it right now because it's pretty dark. I need to sleep that much because of Duo Davao 2026. So, yeah. POW fam, thank you for joining us in Norway Chess 2026 here at Pawn POW Chess series of Paul POW. So hopefully just look forward on our next Pawn POW series. So just find out what we're gonna cover our game next. So that's the end of Norway Chess 2026. Congratulations to Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa, the winner of Norway Chess 2026 in the open category. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching POW fam, and don't forget to subscribe on my main channel Paul POW, and do follow us on Facebook Paul POW. And for more fun of the galaxy, go check us out on Twitch, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and on Blue Sky. That's pretty much it for me. This has been Paul POW saying so long here at the galaxy, and don't forget POW Play Season 5 launch tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. right before the Reina ng Davao the interview rounds. So long!